A standard internet search? That uses about zero point 0.3 watt-hours of electricity. But generating just a single image or asking a complex question to an advanced AI model, we are talking 10 to 50 times as much power. Let's dive right into this explainer because we really need to completely reframe what you think you know about the artificial intelligence arms race. Look, up to this point, the entire conversation has been totally dominated by digital metrics, right? Like who has the smartest chatbot, the most parameters, the lowest latency. But based on our source material today, the tech industry is hyper-fixated on the wrong battlefield. The actual competition is shifting, and violently so, from the digital realm straight back into hard physical reality. We're entering an era that demands an entirely new framework, a paradigm our source calls infinite energy thinking. This is all about creating a physical energy foundation capable of actually sustaining exponential digital growth. So get comfortable, because we're about to look at the true hidden engine of the future intelligence economy. I really want you to let this staggering reality sink in for a second. Artificial intelligence is expected to become one of the largest consumers of electricity in human history. It's crazy, right? We so often think of AI as this invisible, ethereal thing just existing peacefully up in the cloud. But the cloud is actually on the ground. It is made of concrete, steel, and massive, loudly humming data centers packed to the brim with specialized hardware. And the energy required here isn't just about everyday usage, what developers call inference. The training phase alone for these next-generation models requires astronomical, sustained power draws for months at a time. This totally forces us to confront the hard physical limitations of our electrical grids. We are rapidly approaching a point where the bottleneck for AI advancement isn't human ingenuity at all. It's literally just the sheer capacity of regional power grids to handle gigawatt-level loads.
And honestly, that underlying physical constraint changes the entire trajectory of the tech industry. Why does this matter so immensely to you? Well, whether you're investing, building, or just trying to understand where our whole economy is headed, the future we're building depends entirely on keeping the lights on. Right now, as we speak, data center operators are facing grid interconnection queues that stretch for years, just to get plugged in. If AI is going to scale to the levels everyone is predicting, whoever controls the raw physical power ultimately controls the AI. You simply cannot deploy a trillion-parameter model without deploying the equivalent of a small city's worth of power infrastructure to support it. Actually, scratch that. With the way things are growing, it's more like a medium-sized city. The digital future is absolutely tethered to our physical infrastructure.
Section 1. The AI energy reality, beyond processors and software. To truly grasp the stakes here, we need to take a step back and examine what the actual battleground for future innovation looks like today. Up until now, the industry's focus has been almost entirely on the left side of this equation: processors, software, faster algorithms. That was the old reality. The overarching belief was always that Moore's law and algorithmic efficiency would just magically outpace our energy constraints. But the new reality demands a long-term energy strategy and an infinite energy foundation. The sheer volume of compute required for artificial general intelligence completely wipes out the efficiency gains of modern microchips. We are no longer just racing for better code, we are racing for the power to want it without limits. Think about it. If your massive billion-dollar computing cluster is sitting around gathering dust due to grid curtailments, it doesn't matter how elegant your algorithm is. The foundation of the future isn't just silicon anymore, it's watts. Section 2. The convergence of megatrends. Now let's explore how we actually build this infinite energy foundation so we can support these massive future AI ecosystems without completely breaking the grid. The source material details exactly what this construction looks like in practice, identifying 5 critical areas of scalable clean energy IP. The absolute holy grail here: round-the-clock renewable energy generation. AI data centers are hungry beasts. They require high-capacity, base load power. They can't just shut down when the sun sets or the wind stops blowing. And that intermittency is exactly why long-duration energy storage is the critical missing link to keep power delivery consistent. But the source takes this even deeper into some seriously advanced chemistry, highlighting carbon dioxide conversion, electronic fuel production, and synthetic fuel production. These technologies are absolutely vital because they allow us to capture, store, and transport energy in super high-density formats. Guys, these aren't just environmental talking points or fringe science experiments anymore. This is the essential intellectual property required for abundant, scalable power. It's the literal physical fuel required for future AI ecosystems to scale without hitting a hard ceiling.
Which leads us to a pretty profound realization. Historically, you probably thought of massive global industrial decarbonization and the rise of AI as two completely distinct trains running on separate tracks, right? One track is driven by climate policy, the other by tech giants scaling compute. But the source makes a definitive, totally fascinating claim. They are no longer separate megatrends. They are actively colliding. We're already seeing tech companies investing directly in direct air capture facilities and advanced nuclear power simply to offset their massive data center footprints. You just cannot have the exponential expansion of AI without an equally massive expansion of clean energy. Otherwise, local power grids would simply collapse under the strain, and the resulting emissions would completely obliterate corporate carbon targets.
So these two massive forces are locking together like gears into a single, unified megatrend. The push for a decarbonized world and the push for an AI-driven world are now the exact same mission. Solving the energy bottleneck inherently solves the compute bottleneck. And what this means in the real world is that we're going to see totally unprecedented joint ventures between traditional energy companies, grid operators, and hyperscale tech firms. The companies, the policymakers, the investors who view this as a single combined challenge rather than two isolated industries, those are the ones setting themselves up for a massive economic windfall. Section 3. Winning the intelligence economy. Let's figure out who actually holds the upper hand globally when the dust finally settles on this massive infrastructure build-out. Here it is, the defining concept of this entire analysis: infinite energy thinking. This paradigm dictates that the nations that successfully build and solve energy abundance are the ones that will ultimately lead the intelligence economy. It sounds pretty straightforward, but the geopolitical implications of this are absolutely massive. The global players who reward this type of foundational thinking, the ones who look past the software layer and invest heavily in upgrading their physical grid and clean energy IP, they're the ones who will attract the data centers. And guess what? Where the data centers go, the elite talent, the tax base, and the technological supremacy follow right behind. The nations that solve the energy equation won't just participate in the AI revolution. They will host the whole shebang, commanding the infrastructure that the rest of the world relies on. I'll leave you with this final, pivotal question directly from our source material to chew on. Could abundant, clean energy become the ultimate competitive advantage in the artificial intelligence era? It completely shifts your perspective on where the real value lies over the next decade. As artificial intelligence models scale toward infinity, it turns out that the true kingmaker isn't just the smartest machine, but the cleanest, most abundant power source feeding it. Just think about how this reframes national strategies, shifts investment portfolios away from pure software into hard tech, and alters the very trajectory of human innovation. I really hope this explainer has sparked your curiosity and given you a fresh lens to view the world of tomorrow. Keep this reality in the back of your mind the next time you hear about the latest mind-blowing breakthrough in AI. Until next time, keep thinking infinitely.